Hello, everyone. Welcome to a story that can quietly change everything in your life. This is not the story of a hero or a villain, not the rise of a king or the fall of an empire. It's something smaller, softer, and far more powerful. It's the story of invisible forces, the daily patterns we live, the decisions we make without thinking, the tiny steps that seem to do nothing, until one day they change everything. This is the story of habits, not the kind you notice, but the kind that shape your entire future, whether you want them to or not. At first glance, habits don't seem important. Waking up and brushing your teeth, drinking water in the morning, opening your phone right after breakfast, checking notifications before doing anything meaningful. These things feel automatic, harmless, unremarkable. But what if these small actions were actually the building blocks of your life? What if they decided who you would become? This is what the book Atomic Habits teaches us, that small habits, repeated daily, are not just actions. They are votes, votes for the person you are becoming. Every time you make your bed, you cast a vote for being organized. Every time you read a page, you cast a vote for being a reader. Every time you skip exercise, you cast a vote for remaining inactive. Every action matters more than we realize, because every action repeats itself. The truth is, most people don't change by making one big decision. They change by making one tiny decision over and over again. When you hear about someone who suddenly became successful, what you don't see are the quiet years behind that success. The days when no one was watching, the nights when they wanted to give up, the boring, repetitive choices they made again and again until the results became visible. The real secret is this: success is never one giant leap. It is a series of small, almost invisible steps that compound over time. But there's a problem. Most people never see the results of their efforts. They go to the gym for a week and nothing changes. They start saving money, but their bank account still feels empty. They try learning English, but still struggle to speak fluently. They feel disappointed, frustrated, and so they quit. Not because they are lazy, but because they don't understand the invisible law of progress. They don't realize that habits grow like ice melting. For a long time, nothing seems to happen. Then, all at once, change explodes. This is why patience is so powerful, because growth is not linear. You don't see it until it's ready to show. The bamboo tree grows underground for years. No one sees anything. Then, in a matter of weeks, it shoots up meters high. The same is true for habits. The change you want is already happening, quietly, invisibly, if only you stay consistent long enough. To understand habits, we need to understand the habit loop. Every habit follows the same process. First, there's a cue, a signal that triggers the behavior. Then comes a craving, the desire to act. After that is the response, the behavior itself. Finally, there is the reward, the satisfaction that teaches your brain, do this again. Let's say you walk into the kitchen and see a cookie on the table. That's the cue. You suddenly feel hungry or curious. That's the craving. You eat the cookie. That's the response. And you enjoy the sweetness. That's the reward. Your brain says, next time you see a cookie, do this again. Over time, this loop becomes automatic. That's how habits form. Not from one decision, but from repetition that creates a pattern. Good habits and bad habits work the same way. The brain doesn't judge them. It only remembers what felt rewarding. That's why scrolling your phone becomes a habit. It gives you instant pleasure. That's why procrastination feels comfortable. It removes discomfort in the moment. But habits built on short-term pleasure often lead to long-term pain, and habits built on short-term effort often lead to long-term success. So how do we build good habits that last? The answer is not motivation. Motivation comes and goes. It's a feeling, not a system. The key is to make the habit so easy, so clear, and so satisfying that it happens naturally, with or without motivation. This is where design comes in. The way you design your environment, your time, your routines, that's what decides whether habits succeed or fail. Imagine trying to eat healthy while your kitchen is full of junk food, or trying to read more while your phone buzzes every 5 minutes, or trying to study while notifications flash in front of you. The environment you live in either pulls you forward or pushes you back. That's why the first rule of habit change is, make it obvious. If you want to drink more water, place a bottle on your desk. If you want to read, leave the book where you'll see it. If you want to learn English, make your learning tools easy to reach, not hidden in a folder. Next, make it attractive. Your brain repeats what it enjoys. If a habit feels boring, you won't keep doing it. But if it feels rewarding or fun, you'll return to it. One way to do this is to pair your habit with something you love. Listen to music while exercising. Study English while drinking your favorite tea. Review vocabulary while walking in the park. This is called temptation bundling, linking something you need to do with something you want to do. The result is a habit that feels less like a task and more like a joy. Then, make it easy. One of the biggest mistakes people make is starting too big. They try to write 10 pages a day, or exercise for an hour, or study English for 2 hours straight. It feels exciting at first, but it's not sustainable. Life gets busy, energy runs out. That's why the key is to start small, really small, just 2 minutes, 1 sentence, 1 push-up, 1 page. You may think it's too little, but the goal is not perfection, it's consistency. Small habits done daily are more powerful than big habits done occasionally. And finally, make it satisfying. End your habit with something that feels good. Check off a box, track your progress, say a small affirmation. The human brain loves completion. It loves the feeling of winning, even in small ways. And when a habit feels satisfying, your brain says, let's do it again. That's how repetition becomes rhythm. Rhythm becomes identity, and identity becomes destiny. But here's the deepest lesson of all. Habits are not just about actions, they are about identity. Every time you act, you are telling yourself who you are. When you go for a walk, you're not just moving, you're becoming a healthy person. When you read a page, you're becoming a reader. When you listen to English stories, you're becoming a fluent speaker. The habit is not just something you do, it is something you become. You don't need to wait for change. You don't need to wait until you feel ready. You can begin with the smallest action today, and when you repeat it, you begin to believe it. That belief grows stronger every time you act, and one day you wake up and realize, this is not just what you do, it's who you are now. That's the power of atomic habits. Small, quiet, invisible at first, but they carry energy, just like atoms. One tiny habit may seem powerless, but when repeated, it has the power to reshape your life. The only thing you need to do is begin, and then begin again, and again. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. You don't need to change everything today. You just need to show up today. Because every small act is a vote for the kind of future you want. Every repeated choice builds the world you live in tomorrow. The habits you choose are the stories you write. Choose them with care. Repeat them with love. And watch your life slowly become the life you imagined. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. You've just taken one step toward understanding the quiet power of habits. And maybe, just maybe, you've started a habit today that will carry you toward everything you dream to be.